1993 started with festivities in the streets of Bratislava, Slovakia, as people celebrated the birth of a new country. At midnight, Czechoslovakia divided into two smaller countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. The day after his inauguration on January 20th, 1993, President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary Rodham Clinton welcomed visitors to the White House. On February 26, 1993, terrorists struck in New York City. A powerful explosion beneath one of the World Trade Center towers killed 6 people and injured more than 1,000. Muslim fanatics were later charged and convicted. Another man-made disaster, also with religious roots, took place in Waco, Texas, on April 19, 1993. The well-armed compound of the Branch Davidian sect was assaulted by FBI teams using tanks and other military hardware. The assault and ensuing fire killed 86 men, women, and children. The citizens of Japan celebrated the marriage of Crown Prince Naruhito and Mosako Awada on June 9, 1993, at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. In the United States Mississippi Valley, the worst floods of the century covered millions of acres of America's heartland. In one of the year's more inspiring events, 2 old foes met on the White House lawn on September 13, 1993. President Bill Clinton watched as Israel's Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin shook hands with Yasser Arafat, head of the Palestine Liberation Organization, at the signing of an agreement between Israel and the PLO to work out peaceful living arrangements for Palestinians and Israelis. There was a violent and bloody confrontation in Moscow, Russia on October 4, 1993. After President Boris Yeltsin had dissolved Parliament on September 21st, many legislators armed themselves and refused to leave the building. President Yeltsin sent troops to storm the building and capture those who held it. About 140 people were killed, and the remaining resistors were arrested. Violence also played a role in the decision of the world's best-known athlete to retire from basketball. Michael Jordan, star of the Chicago Bulls, announced his retirement in Chicago on October 6, 1993, a few weeks after his father was murdered in North Carolina. The unfortunate death of his father apparently led him to the decision. In Southern California, in November 1993, fires fed by 70-mile-per-hour winds swept through 6 counties, burning more than 1,000 homes and displacing more than 25,000 people. And as if fire were not enough, rains and mudslides came a few weeks later, followed in 1994 by a massive earthquake. The year 1994 began with armed conflict in Mexico when a rebel group in the Chiapas region declared war on the government of Mexico, demanding land reform and an end to discrimination against Indians. At 4:20 a.m. on January 17, 1994, a major earthquake struck Los Angeles. It measured 6.6 on the Richter scale and caused billions of dollars in damage. Major freeways collapsed, the death toll reached 51, and thousands were left homeless. In a break from bad news, the Winter Olympics opened in Lillehammer, Norway, on February 12, 1994. By the end of the Games on the 27th, the host country had taken the largest number of medals. American speed skater Bonnie Blair won 5 gold medals. Early on the morning of February 25, 1994, an American-born Jewish physician, Baruch Goldstein, went into a mosque in Hebron in the Israeli-occupied West Bank and killed 29 people. More died in the panic and rioting that followed. This massacre stunned both Israelis and Palestinians. The attacker was killed at the site, but his deed temporarily disrupted the peace negotiations between Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization. The streets of Hebron remained a scene of violence for weeks. Richard Nixon, the 37th President of the United States, died on April 22, 1994. In his eulogy, President Clinton urged, "May the day of judging President Nixon on anything less than his whole life and career come to a close." From April 26 through the 28th, 1994, South Africans of all races voted in multi-party elections, marking the first time that the country's approximately 18 million blacks were allowed to vote.